In this video, we're going to have a look at a couple of free plugins that you can add to your WooCommerce shop to improve the customer experience and just to add some really much needed features to your shop. So first thing we're just going to look at here is the archive page, which is the standard shop page or category page or tag page. And the first thing we're going to have a look at here is in the sidebar. You'll see we have this nice interactive search. We have price filters. We then also have various variations that you can filter by, like the colors, the size, and then we also have a brands filter. Across the top of the page then we have the categories. We only had, in this case, 6 categories for the shop, so we decided to put them across the top of the page. The nice thing is that both the selectors across the top of the page and the selectors along the left hand side of the page work together. To demonstrate how that works, if I was to go to hoodies, for example, you'll notice that the selectors down the left hand side then are updated according to the products that are available. And if I segment that further, for example, if I head over to red, and you'll see there's a number in brackets next to the color that indicates that there's only one product that fits that particular filter option. So there we have the updates to the filters, and the reason we have the green and the blue is because this product is also available in green and blue. Now if we want to reset our filter back to the original state, there are 2 ways of doing that. One is where we deselect each item one at a time, and you'll see that it's quite easy to identify the item, or we can head over here to all products and simply select all products, and now all the products display on the page. So that's how nice the filters work together. The next thing that we're going to have a look at is the actual product. So if we have a look at the product, you'll see that we have the brand name at the top. The brand name is selectable, so if I click on the brand name, I'm going to go to the brand page. So there we are on the brand page, and you'll see we have the brand name, a description, and we're now on the brand page. And on the left hand side you'll see that the selectors have been updated according to the brand page, as well as the categories available in the brand. So I would be able to then filter the results for that brand on its own. I'm going to head back to the shop, and what we're going to do now is just have a closer look at the product. So that's how the brand works. We then have the category here. The category isn't selectable, but of course the category is selectable with our selectors across the top of the page. Then we have the product name, the rating, we have the price. If it's on sale, you'll see that it will have a strike through the normal price with the sale price next to it. Then we have the add to cart, and then we have the quick view. So the quick view is nice is because instead of going to that product page, I can actually see the product on the page. So here, for example, I'm looking at album. If I then go to the next item, I don't have to go back to the archive view or the grid view. I can simply navigate from one product to another. The only downside or negative on this particular free plugin is that when you click on add to cart, I'll actually be taken to that single product page where I'll do the add to cart. Instead of being able to do that and return back to the grid view, I now would have to hit the back in the browser, and then I go back to the shop page. But in the paid version, of course, you can add it without navigating away from the page. The other thing that you may have noticed there is that when I clicked on the add to cart, we had the bar on the right hand side appear, and in that you'll see the items that have been added to my cart. And then down the bottom here we have a few more options. So here at the bottom you'll see we have the subtotal. We can apply a coupon immediately. We can also then view cart, head over to the checkout, or continue shopping. If you want to go back to the page, you can simply click anywhere on the page and you're back to the page. You'll also notice here that there's a little number indicated on the basket, and that number on the basket actually indicates the number of items that I've added to my basket so far. So that's how this works when it comes to the desktop view. Let's have a look at the mobile view. So I'm just going to inspect the page, and then I'm going to change the view to a responsive view. So here we are. If I was on my cell phone, this is what I'd be seeing. I have my categories across the top. which we had before. We then have the button for all products, and now we have the filters. If I click on the filters, you'll see that the menu expands, and I can then select my filters. If I keep on scrolling, I get to the products, and if I go beyond the products, you'll see that I actually arrive at the filters again. And the reason for this is simple. For example, I'm on the page and I select to go and look at all items in blue. The products are filtered. When the list updates, I scroll down and I'm looking at the blue products. Now, if I don't find what I'm looking for, I can simply then select all products. I can carry on with a search, or I can then update my filter to view more products. So it's a really great user experience on mobile. The other thing that we can do here, of course, is look at the quick view. So I'm on the quick view, and you'll see I can once again navigate to the next product simply by clicking on the arrow on the right hand side in this view. So everything works really well on mobile, and if I really wanted to, I could reduce the border spacing to the left and right of this product so that we only have the product in the full width. So you could make this a little bit larger. If we head now back to the shop, there's another feature I'd like to show you, and that occurs when a product has more than one image. So here we have this logo collection, and this is a collection of products, and you'll see there are several making up the collection. So I'm going to head over to the quick view for that particular product, and what you'll see now is that the images are displayed in the gallery view below, and even though it's a product, a group product, I can also come in and make the selection of items. So here, if I was to select an image, you'll see that the image opens in its own lightbox, and it also has this nice navigation at the bottom of the images. So you can then browse through the images without being redirected to the product page. If I was to perhaps add some items here, so I'm going to add one of each, and I then go add to cart, you'll actually see now that I'll be redirected to the product page. The items still remain, and the cart is updated with that selection. So I'm going to head back to the main shop page, and we're just going to have a look at this cap, for example. So when we look at the cap page, you'll notice here on the right hand side that we've added a minimum and maximum quantity, and then also a discounted value for those products. So the nice thing now is that as a customer not logged in, I can determine my discount by changing the number of items that I purchase. So to show you how that works, I'm going to add, let's say, 50 to the cart, and the cart will update. And now you'll see here on the right hand side that we have 61 products. I might have had a few in there before, and you'll see that a discount of 8% has been applied. If I head over to the cart, because maybe we want to view this on the cart and just make sure the discount is applied, and you'll see there that we have the cap, we have the discounted value, and we have the number of items with the discount. If I was to change the number of items, so I'm going to change that down to 8 where there's no discount, we'll update the cart, and now you'll see that the price goes back to the original price. Right, so there we're back to 16. If I change that to 11, which was the minimum discounted value, and I update my cart, you'll see that that price is then updated now to the discounted value. So that's how the plugin works when it comes to applying discounts to your products. To head back to the shop, simply click on shop, and we'll head back to the shop. Another feature that we need to take a closer look at is the brands page. So here on the left hand side, you'll see that we have a list of brands, and the brands work nicely with the other filters on the page. Now the brands here are not part of the attributes for the product. They're actually a custom taxonomy, and what that allows us to do essentially, it means that if I go to a brand's page, you'll see that I'm able to actually build a page, whereas with an attribute it's a little bit more difficult and not recommended. So here on my custom taxonomy, you'll see that I have the brand, I have a description, and if I had a banner for this brand, that would actually display at the top of the page, and then all the products that belong to that brand are displayed below. The other nice thing about the brands plugin is that you can do different things with displaying the brands. So the first thing I'd like to show you is that you can have a brands directory, and you'll see here that we have the brands and they're alphabetized based on the first letter, their title. And so if I clicked on the T, I would then be taken to all the products, all the brands that begin with T. If I then click on a brand, I'd be taken to that brand page, and I can see all the products that belong to that brand. The other thing that you'll notice here is we have another view here, which is this grid view at the bottom of the page. So you can also display your brands like this, where you have the logo and the name. And if you have a lot of brands, you can actually introduce pagination to this layout. Now, I don't have a lot of brands here, so I've displayed them all together, but that's how you can display them if you want to. Another way of displaying the brands is you might want to have a slider on your home page that cycles through the brand. So I'm going to head over now to the home page and just show you that that slider is also possible and all part of that same brands plugin. So here we are on the home page. I'll scroll to the bottom, and here you'll see that we have this list of brands across the bottom of the page, and they're actually going to rotate, and in the plugin you can actually adjust the speed of that rotation, and it's actually a shortcode that you would insert. So that's pretty much how impressive the brand side of the plugin is. The next thing that we're going to have a look at is some of the items that are in place that you don't readily see. And when we're talking shop specifically, we also have an abandoned cart setup. So what I'm going to do now is log into the site, and once we're logged in, we're going to go and have a look at the abandoned cart portion of the website. After logging in, we're going to head over to the WooCommerce menu, and we're going to go to the abandoned cart menu. So with that loading up, and you'll see we have two. So here we have the just reporting. So we have a report telling us well, the dashboard, the abandoned amount, abandoned carts, recovered amount, recovered carts, recovery rate. We have the products, and we have the carts. Now the other thing that we have, which you don't see here in this particular menu, is an ability to email the client when they leave something in the cart. And that we have here. Then on the left hand side we have another plugin that does exactly that. So I'm going to select that cart abandonment, and we have a similar dashboard here. So this is doubling up, so perhaps you don't need the reporting side. This plugin does have some reporting as well. So here once again, recoverable orders, recovered orders, lost orders, recoverable revenue, recovered revenue, and recovery rate. The nice thing here is that I can see who was in the cart, the email address, and the order status of abandoned. And then I can also actually go and view that order. So if I click on view, I'll be able to see the item that was in the cart at the time that it was abandoned, and if they've entered their details, their particular details. So that's a nice way that I might be able to contact them. The other thing here is that we can set up the follow-up email. So here we head over to the follow-up emails, and you'll see here that you have an option to set up several, and over here on the right hand side you can activate. So I can create as many follow-up emails as I like. So if I wanted to create a new template, for example, just create new template, and let's make it we'll just call it new, I'm not going to do anything in the body, and we'll just save the changes. And you'll see now that that is another item added to the list of follow-up emails. So we'll just go back to the list. Right, so there's the new one. So very easy to add or remove follow-ups. Then you also, of course, have the option to set the time, and you can also customize the message. So let's have a look at this particular one. So we'll edit. And you'll see in this one, we have some dynamic data coming through here, like the customer.firstname, admin first name, admin company, the unsubscribe option to no longer receive these follow-up emails. So those options are available. And below here, you can actually see the option to create a coupon, when to send the email, and who to send a test email to. But there is another option here, and let's just go and have a look at this discount coupon. So if you wanted to send them a discount coupon, you could do that, and here you would simply use that dynamic data then to put in the coupon code, and here would be a link to complete the purchase, which means that just clicking on that takes them to their basket. And if you wanted to go a bit further, you can actually include the items that were in their basket in the email. So a very comprehensive cart abandonment plugin. So those are just a couple of the plugins that we've added to this particular website to make it more appealing to the user. So let's go and have a look at those plugins. I'm going to head over here to the plugins menu, and we're just going to go through and have a look at the plugins that are active on the site to make all of that happen. So the first one that you'll see here is the abandoned cart reports for WooCommerce, and that was the abandoned cart without the ability to send the follow-up email. So that's just for reporting purposes, and that's by Smallfish Analytics. Then we're going to scroll down a bit here, and we're going to look for the discount price for WooCommerce. And the discount price for WooCommerce is the one that was used to do the various discounts. And if we look at the details of that one, you'll see this is the plugin that you're looking for. So that is the discount price for WooCommerce, and it allows you to set the minimum and maximum quantities. And then there's some screenshots here and some nice information detailing how to make that happen. So that was the discount price for WooCommerce. Then we're going to just scroll down here, and perfect brands for WooCommerce. Now that's by Quad Layers, and that was the plugin that we used for the branding. And this actually creates a custom taxonomy or custom category, and then adds all those other additional features. And you'll see they have a host of features here in terms of what you can do with that. So a really great and an asset to your shop. So really have a look into that. There's also documentation available, and they also have some nice screenshots here showing you what else is possible when it comes to the brands. So what I'm going to do now is head over to the next one. So that was the perfect brands. Then for the filters, we look at this plugin here called Pofully, the WooCommerce product filters, and we're just going to view those details. And you'll see here we have those product filters, very easy to install. And then what you do is you create the filters, and then you create the menus with those filters, so you can create as many menus as you like and mix and match the filters to your requirement. So a very flexible plugin, well worth looking into. We have the quick view WooCommerce product, and we'll just have a look at that plugin's details. And you'll notice here that this is very similar. In fact, it's the same plugin developer that made the plugins for the discount quantities. And here you can see the features. There is a pro feature, and we didn't even have a look at the pro feature options there, but the quick view here will allow the Ajax add to cart, which means it's added to the cart without refreshing the page or redirecting you. And you can also determine the position of the button after or before the add to cart button. So, and a couple of other changes that you can make. So really worth looking into. So that's the quick view WooCommerce product. Then we have the search WP live Ajax search, and that's something that we didn't actually look at earlier. It's not part of the shop, but where it does work is that when we head over to the search and we enter a search term, we have an Ajax filter here that updates, and if we then click on the product, we are then redirected straight to the product. So that's a nice interactive search option for your website, and also for free. Then we have the site cart for WooCommerce. So the site cart for WooCommerce is the site cart over here. This is also the free version as it comes without any updates. So let's have a look at the site cart for WooCommerce, and you'll see that once again this is the same company, developers that did the quick view, the discounted. They also make the site cart for WooCommerce. So another great product to look into. And of course, when you head over into the pro version, you can even have some additional features like an input box in the site cart, a product slider on the cart, enable, disable the cart items, and some other things. So really something to look into. But site cart for WooCommerce, that's what it looks like. Then if I scroll down a little bit more, that pretty much wraps that up, except for the cart abandonment and recovery. This is by Cartflows Inc. And if we view the details, this is what you'll be looking for: WooCommerce cart abandoned recovery. Now, what I have included in the description of the video is a list to all these plugins, the free and the premium versions. So I'm just going to head back to the shop here. And then just to summarize, all the plugins on this website are completely free, and that included the filters, the brands, the quick view, the discounted options, the abandoned cart options, the site cart, and it really makes for a more interesting user experience. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and thank you for watching.